Hey Stampers, welcome to Brandy's Cards. So I have a fun birthday card for you, and I love this stamp set that we're going to use today because it's like building a cake. And I love the fact that you like build the cake and you throw in some fun words and things with it. So I'm excited to show you this card, but before I do, I'm really excited to share with you our new Sale-a-bration products. That's right. So let me show you this first. So for those of you who've made a purchase with me in the past, you would have received your Stampin' Up! Occasions catalog, as well as the Sale-a-bration catalog. Now the spring catalog, as you know, is good through May 31st of 2017. So this one has a ways to go, but for every $50 in product that you purchase before shipping and tax, you get to pick an item out of the Sale-a-bration catalog. Now this annual sale happens once a year and it ends March 31st, 2017. So it has been so much fun. There's nothing more that I love than when you email me or you place your order and I can see that you have selected some free Sale-a-bration items. So that is awesome. And demonstrators enjoy this perk too, because we like getting that free stuff as well. But more good news is Stampin' Up! Is adding 3 new items. That's right. So I have the little brochure that I just printed. They're adding glimmer paper. That's right. I know glimmer paper has been really hot lately. The reverse words, as well as make a medallion. So I'm excited. I have these items here. I got to pre-order them. That's a perk of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And so look at this beautiful paper. OMG. So I'm going to open my brochure, and it says right here, this is Bermuda Bay. And this one is Sweet Sugar Plum and Mint Macaroon. And it's just stunning. I honestly think it works beautifully with, I have Wild Wasabi that I've paired it with here today. And I've also paired it with Tempting Turquoise. It's beautiful. And then Melon Mambo. So anyway, these colors are pretty awesome, and you can use them not just for the colors that they are. And here is the stamp sets. I actually have them right here. So here's the reverse words, and then there's your make a medallion. So there's lots of fun things that you can do. And I was actually noticing that the make a medallion actually coordinates with our layering circle framelits. So that's going to give you lots of options for layering and things like that. So when you see that kind of gray around it, it means that it's got a coordinating product. So anyway, this brochure goes live February 21st, 2017, and it's going to end March 31st. So if you would like any of the products in this little Sale-a-bration brochure, you have about 6 weeks or so. So make sure that you get them before March 31st. All right? So let's take a look at our card that we're going to make today. Here is the card. Hope you have a super spectacular birthday. I loved that. And I added in there our new shimmer paper or glimmer paper. And I just thought it was a sparkly happy birthday. If you look at the stamp set, you've got in here crazy, fantastic, spectacular. So you've got some options, but I went with super spectacular. I just liked how it sounded together. All right, so I have a lot of stuff here in front of me, a lot. And so it's a little overwhelming, I know, but I will have it all listed on brandyscards.com. So please don't feel like you have to write any of this down. Most importantly, you're gonna need Cake Crazy. That's right, so that is the stamp set. You're gonna need some stamp pads. I have Tempting Turquoise, Wild Wasabi, Melon Mambo, Basic Black, and Daffodil Delight. And then all the sizes and the dimensions will be on Brandy's Cards. So you're just gonna go over to brandyscards.com, click on the videos, the video tab inside of the navigational bar, and it'll drop down all of my videos. You'll be able to see this picture of this card and click on it, and you'll have all of your written tutorial there with the sizes and the dimensions. And of course, I love to hear from you. So in the event that you can't find it or you would like to ask me a question, feel free to email me, okay? So let's get started, because this is a fun card to do. I'm gonna go ahead and fold my base in half. The next thing you're going to want to do is I recommend you're going to take your glimmer paper, and what I've got here is it's actually the base of the card. And what I did, I actually did it ahead of time. And the reason that I did this is because I found that if you don't, it can smudge a little bit. This is kind of like a shiny paper. So I used Stays on Black, and I just stamped that straight down and straight up. And that is on the glimmer paper. The reason I did that again is just so that it doesn't get, it doesn't get your fingers all dirty and slimy and so forth. So now what I'm gonna do is, before I cut that out, let me just stamp it on my cardstock to show you why I'm cutting where I am. So we're gonna ink it back up, just really quick. Make sure we get some good coverage on that. I do always like to, a lot of times, stamp things first, just to make sure there's good coverage. And then I'm gonna stamp it. I'm gonna come up for about a half, 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and I'm gonna stamp it right here. Perfect. And that's great. Now we're gonna kind of just let that dry for a second. And then while we're kind of in the black here, let's go ahead and take our birthday. And the birthday is going to stamp right underneath this nice solid black line. So there's birthday, and it worked out beautifully. All right, so now let's go back to our glimmer paper. So you can see this is the exact same design that I stamped. So I'm gonna cut this out, and I actually want, I want this line in the card. So I want you to be able to see that line, but not the top of these little circles. So I'm gonna cut along the top of those circles, and I actually want this piece to be a wee bit bigger than the piece that was in there. So I'm cutting this line off because I want you to be able to see it. And then when I flip it over, I can just set it right there. And I loved that because it was, like I said, it was a little bit bigger. It definitely shimmered and looked pretty, and it was pretty awesome. So, all right. So now what I'm gonna do is tap my paper off a little bit. The shimmer paper, it definitely leaves a few little, little spots and things here and there. So you just gotta try to keep your space clean because you don't wanna get the glitter on your stamps or your stamp pad. So I'm gonna put some Tombow glue here behind the glimmer paper. I'm gonna set it right on top, and that looks great. I love how that just shimmers beautifully. All right, so now we're gonna move over to Spectacular because this is so much fun. All right, so I have Tempting Turquoise, I have the word Spectacular, and it's kind of like big on one side and it goes down smaller like that. So we're gonna just kind of eye it, figure out where we're at. We're building our cake. Oh, that looks awesome. Okay, so we have Spectacular. Now the next one that we need is, let's see, we need our little Melon Mambo. There it is, right there. So these are our little Melon Mambo lines. And so as you can see, they're kind of fatter on the right-hand side and they go skinnier. So you want to kind of stamp it so it goes back up the cake. And so there, now we've got it going back up the cake, which is perfect. And the next thing I have are these stars and some Daffodil Delights. This is the fun part about this card. There is a lot involved, but it is so much fun to build this cake. The possibilities are endless with the different colors and things that you could use. Now I have the word super, and we're gonna take super with some wild wasabi. We're gonna stick that right here on the top. And that looks super for sure. All right, now I think we're ready for our candle and a little flame. So the candle is in Tempting Turquoise. So there's my candle. And then I have my little flame. Boy, that guy is little, so you wanna make sure you don't lose him. Just like that. And then the very last thing to kind of finish our cake and our whole picture here is I have Hope You Have a Super Spectacular Birthday. That's pretty cool, right? All right, so this is the part that always worries me a wee bit, because it's like, okay, I've just built this fantastic cake and now I'm getting ready to stamp the very last thing, but it's all good. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Well, it could not work out and then be like, rats. But it worked out, so we're good to go. All right, so there is super spectacular. Happy birthday. Now the next thing we're gonna do is this sidebar. Did you guys notice this little side spot? So if you look in the stamp set, where is it? There it is. Here's the stamp set. So this piece right here, it's actually one of the pieces that you can use to build the cake. And I thought, okay, there's gotta be a way to make a background with that, because you guys know I like to do that. So this is how I did it. Where is that piece? There it is. I mounted this piece. Now I'm trying really hard not to get my sleeves, which are a wee bit bulky in the ink. So I've done that before too. So anyway, this is the little diamonds, if you will. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start here at the top, and I am going to stamp it straight down and straight up. And so now this diamond is actually gonna butt up towards the last diamond that I stamped. And believe it or not, it works and it finishes the diamond. Sure does. And you know, if you don't get it perfect, it really doesn't bother me any. But you know, if it bothers you, then definitely just try to be really careful and try to get that a little bit cleaner. But it really doesn't bother me a whole, you know, very much at all, really. Now what I'm doing is I'm turning my paper, and I'm going to take my diamond and I am going to match it back up with the previous diamonds and stamp it again. And so by doing that, I'm continuing to create my pattern. That's right. And so when I do this, and it takes a second to kind of get it lined up, straight down, straight up. There we go. That worked out great. Like I said, it does take a little bit sometimes to just get it perfectly lined up, but it's not too bad. You just have to kind of be patient and eye it straight across. There we go. That one worked out. And we have one more to go. So I'm just kind of trying to line it up the best that I can, and it worked out great. So let's put that back. And we are well on our way. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to glue this piece to the top of my base, and I'm going to use my Tombow glue to do that. That's right. Use my Tombow glue. I'm going to put it off to the left-hand side. I want it flush. I should say the right-hand side. And I want it flush, so that looks great. And now I have my fun, super duper ooper birthday little top piece to put here on the top. Add some Tombow glue. And now this piece is going to go right here, just like that. And it goes right over the top. See? That's looking good. And so you want it flush with the bottom and also the left-hand side. And then I thought, you know what? I wanted to add a little bit of color to kind of pull all the colors in together. So I cut a Daffodil Delight strip. That strip is just going to go right here. And it just kind of covers this edge. Now you could certainly leave it like this, but I almost felt like that Daffodil Delight strip almost took away from it too. So, you know, what then I decided to do was take another piece of a Whisper White strip, and I'm going to place that over the top of the Daffodil Delight. So what that does is that just gives me a little bit of a peekaboo, if you will, of some Daffodil Delight. So I just thought that turned out great. All right, so the very last thing that we're going to do, because I'm loving our card right now, but we have this beautiful sparkled glimmer paper, and so I'm thinking we might need some of the Sweet Sugar Plum on there. So what I ended up doing is I stamped these like lines that are on the Melon Mambo cake, and I actually just stamped them and put them right here on my glimmer paper on the back. Now I've already pre-cut them out so that you didn't have to watch me do that. These lines are, or these little lines are pretty, they're pretty little. So I'm going to take the fine tip glue pen, would ultimately probably be your best bet. But I've had some practice. I've made a few of these. So I'm just going to use my Tombow glue. And I have already cut these things out, and I'm just going to stick them right on the top. And I just thought it really added a fun sparkle and kind of brought it to life a little bit more. And so that was these 4 little strips Now you could do all the strips if you wanted, but the dimension is fantastic if you keep some that are normal and some that are kind of lifted up. Okay, so as much as I want to be done, I can't be done yet because I thought, look at those stars. Well, we have some fantastic enamel shapes. Look at these guys. These are great. This is the Bold in the Bold Brights selection, and I have some Daffodil Delight stars. So just kind of like I did with these strips here, I thought, well, let's just go ahead and put a couple enamel shapes on these stars and make this like an extra special, super spectacular birthday card for that somebody special is what I am thinking. And there, I've got it on there. Oh my goodness, I love it. So that is it. This is like a crazy cake stamp set that is so much fun to work with. And I have another example here. This card was designed by a good friend of mine, Kimberly Van Diepen, and she did this for one of our swaps, and I thought it was fantastic. I loved how she did the crazy cake, and if you open up your Stampin' Up! Catalog, the spring catalog, you're gonna see the stamp set in there, and you're gonna see a whole nother set of colors done with this as well. But I love how she did that, and so I thought, okay, well, I like how she did it, so I'm gonna try to change it up and kind of make it my own as well. Now before I go, I do want to show you another card that I recently did with this, the glimmer paper. So this is Cheers, 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 and this is the reverse word stamp set. And then you can see the fun, the glimmer paper behind it, and then of course these little enamel dots. So enamel shapes, I should say. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed my card. I hope that you give it a try. I think anybody who receives a spectacular, super fancy birthday card like this would feel pretty special and be pretty excited. So I appreciate you stopping by. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for your business, and I hope you have a blessed day.